Good evening, my faith ignited audience. Oh, how I love to be here with you guys. You guys have really made my weekends fun. I know I can come here and talk to you guys and ask you about your week, tell you about mine, and bring you guys good stories, good feel-good stories. I try to do on Faith Ignited, as most of you know, I try to bring a little bit of good news to the world, right? Tell a story that is of a miracle or of someone sharing their testimony, right, with us, and sharing how things have changed their lives drastically, whether that be a situation, a person, a place, whether that be God, whether that be whatever is in your heart and soul. You know, here on Faith Ignited, we are a non-denomination podcast, right? Come as you are, because God loves you anyway, right? If we are feeling that, I know there's so much sadness in the world right now, guys, and we all feel it. We all feel it all over the world. And the one thing that brings me hope is that there are still people in this world that want to make a difference, that want to contribute to, whether it be our community, whether it be in their cities or states or whatever that may be, but contribute into making the world a better place. And today we are here on Faith Ignited with someone that I met a few years ago. We have here in California, and I think they're all over, but I met her here in California at a Day of Portugal celebration in San Jose, California, and she was pre-selling her book at the time. She is a children's author. She's a mom. She is someone who is making a difference. She is an author of a book called Island Girl, or Menina de Ilha. And I want to let you guys know that the beautiful short story format that she uses, and the stories that follow a young girl that could be your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, who visits her grandparents' island, right? Which is the island of Azores, and discovers the beauty of her heritage and an exploration of her identity and family, and also highlighting cultural heritage and landscapes and beautiful illustrations in her book. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to Faith Ignited Idalina Sousa Mendoza. Hi, Idalina. Welcome to Faith Ignited. I am so happy to have you here with me tonight.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Thank you for having me on your podcast today.
Yes.
And thank you to all the listeners for being here and for your time.
Oh, yeah, their time, right? I always tell Faith Ignited listeners, this is a very chill vibe. I want them to get in their comfy, cozy pajamas, sit back, relax, listen to a story. And today we're going to tell them your story, and I'm so happy. I just tell us a little bit about who you are right now in present day. Who is Idalina?
Well, I am a mom of two children, two beautiful kids, and
their names are.
And I am the mom of Carlos and Marina Coral.
I can't even stand that you named her Marina Coral. Idalina, when I read your daughter's name, I got chills up and down my body because I'm like, that is what it takes, is when you name your kids Marina Coral. That is the most beautiful combination I think I've ever heard in a name. Not to say that Carlos isn't a great name, but your daughter's name is amazing.
Well, when I was expecting my daughter, I was in bed rest for about 5 months. And my husband and I, we were looking at names.
Yeah.
And we both decided, well, I'm an island girl.
Yes.
She's going to have an island name. We
Yes.
came up like with 20 different names.
Right.
But Marina Coral was the one.
It stuck. It stuck. Oh, my God.
It stuck. And I'm sorry, kiddo, but
I love that you are
stuck with this name.
I feel like you're a friend to your kids. Like your kids love you so much. I can tell. I can just tell.
Oh my gosh, my kids, sometimes you can't tell if,
yes.
If
friends or family.
Mom.
Yeah.
I remember when my son was in high school and college.
Yeah.
People used to think that we were
a couple.
Exactly, because you're like, that's your mom?
You know what's so funny? My husband and I had our daughter. I was 19 when I had my daughter, and I used to drop her off at the school place, and I don't know. I just feel like we understand what that with our daughters, that closeness, that friendship, that bond. Even I have one child, and she's literally my best friend. Like she used to say, Mom, the boys in the class, they all think you're my sister. They all want to say hi to you, whatever. I would work in the classroom. So I get that. But what a beautiful blessing to have, right? I mean, to have our kids love us and in that way and share their lives, and not because I was afraid to share a lot with my parents. I was afraid, right? Weren't you?
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And I knew I didn't want to do that. How about you?
Oh, the same way. I mean, with my kids, we have open conversations.
Yes.
With my parents, I couldn't do it. I would go to my mom, and she says, well, go to your father.
Yes. And then your father says, go to your mom. Yes.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, I know. And they, and the thing but you know what? It's a new day. It's a new time. And if they knew better, they would have done better. I truly believe that. If my parents were equipped like we are now, we have so much that we learned, right, that our parents didn't have access to.
Oh, absolutely. And again, coming from, a simple, humble island.
Yes.
I mean, there were no resources, basically very little.
Very few resources
that we had back in the islands.
So you were born, tell us a little about where you were born and how that all started, like where you were born and how long you stayed and all of that.
So I was born in Ponta Delgada, but not São Miguel, because when I say Ponta Delgada,
I was gonna say, girl, it's Nicolas.
No, not Nicolas. But actually, I do have some Nicolens because my maternal great grandfather, he was from São Miguel.
Yay! Go Idalina!
And then he settled in Flores.
Okay, I've never been there, so like your eye is
girl, you gotta go.
Okay, tell me all about it.
So I was born and raised in Flores, and we emigrated to California.
Okay.
In August of 1978.
Okay.
When we emigrated here.
Okay.
A little bit about my story.
Yeah, please, please.
When we arrived here, of course, we didn't speak, any of us. There were 7 of us.
7.
My parents, 5 children. I am the oldest of the 5.
God bless them.
We arrived in Boston,
Oh,
Massachusetts.
that's a
Beautiful
busy
Boston.
place. Yes, yes.
I remember being in the hallways at the airport. A lot of chaos.
Yeah.
I did not understand the word of English.
Right.
We're all looking at
Wow.
each other.
Scary.
And then I remember there was a gentleman that escorted us to the immigration. It was like an immigration
Back then, like a little booth.
conference room.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then he handed us papers, and that was basically our green cards,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
back in the days, that's how it was.
That's how it was. Or you had to have some people call you over, like write a letter and
Yes.
send a letter, and then they would come. Yeah, it was crazy back then.
Yeah, because things are different now, but back in the days, that's how it was.
Yeah.
My mom's sister, she did a petition, and the petition got approved, and we set a date. We went to San Miguel again, and where we had our physicals done.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you are, of course, healthy, nothing's
Yes.
wrong, then you get your pass to the U.S.
Wow.
And
How beautiful.
I remember. So going back again before we
we have
Boston.
all the time. You're here now. I got you. I'm not letting you go yet.
One of the most probably heart-filling experiences in my life was to say goodbye to my grandparents. I was 10, and I remember in the book, it's called My Journey to America. And there's a beautiful illustration, saying goodbye to my grandparents. And there's the boat, which I am trying to investigate where Ponta Delgada boat is today.
Oh, wow. That would be cool to find out.
I don't know if you remember that boat, but that's the boat that people emigrated.
The Sage boat? No, not the Sage boat.
No, it was Ponta Delgada.
Ponta Delgada.
It was the name.
Yeah.
Name of the boat.
Yeah.
So I remember. I mean, it was very heartfelt saying goodbye to my grandparents. I remember my grandmother saying, "Get on the boat, and don't look back."
Yes,
Adoor
for your grandmother to say those words, knowing she didn't want you to go, but you had a chance at a better life.
Exactly. So she said, "Promise me you won't look back." And I said, "Okay, I promise you." Well, I broke the promise, and I looked back once I was inside of the boat, and she was holding on. It was to a pole that was connected to the light of where the port was.
Right.
And she was on her knees, and it was it broke my heart. And from afar, as the boat was leaving shore, I promised her that I was going to work hard in America to earn money and go back and visit them.
You're making me cry. That's so beautiful. Because I feel that my grandmother was my love, my best friend. I know what that dude is, querida.
It was very, very hard. So we got here back to the Boston to the Boston story.
Yeah.
They give us our papers, our green cards, and then on the way to California.
Yeah.
And my first experience inside of the TAP Airlines.
Yes.
They served us a glass of Coca-Cola.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the heck is this? Are they trying to kill us? What is this drink? I looked at my dad. He said, well, it's not that bad. I'm like, Dad, it tastes like cough medicine.
That's what my mom says, toast.
Exactly. And Nancy and the people that are listening, I do not drink Coca-Cola. I mean, it has been, I'm 56. I do not drink Coca-Cola or any soft drinks.
No,
I just
wow.
don't do it.
Good for you.
But Coca-Cola,
No.
I've tried it later on in life,
Yeah.
and that taste stood with me. I was
Yes.
like, no,
It
this is not gonna
triggers
do
you
it.
to a medicine moment. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, that is such a beautiful, right there. You just illustrated for me. I visualized every single thing you were just saying to me. That's why I feel like when you promised your avó that you were going to make a difference in the world, I believe that that's your purpose now, Idalina. Your purpose is in this book. It's like finding a treasure chest of gold. You can't pay someone to write like that. That has to come from within, right? That desire to be in your corner, but at least you have this, a legacy for your family, for your daughter, for her kids, your son's kids, and your son, and a moment for your husband, probably, who was extremely supportive and proud of you. Yeah, was he just so happy when you decided to
Yes.
write the book?
Yes.
What led you to that?
So, what inspired me to write Island Girl in the first place? It was during COVID. My husband and my daughter, they were cleaning the garage. I was working from home at the time. And during lunch break, they knocked on the door and they asked if it was okay to come in. And I was like, yeah. I don't have a meeting at the moment. It's lunchtime. And they hand me over, it was an old manila envelope that they found in the garage inside of an old abandoned box.
Oh, wow.
And it contained old stories that I had written when I was in middle school and high school.
Wow.
And they found it was a cute little ribbon
Oh.
that I had won for best writer of the month.
Yes.
I had forgotten about that.
Oh, my gosh.
And my husband looked at me. He's like, I found a novel here too.
Yes.
Why did you stop writing?
Yes.
And I was like,
time got
just
away.
Life,
Yeah,
life takes us in different directions. And
Yes.
I started a family at a very early age.
Yes.
And so I didn't pursue my writing.
Right.
But then I started reading the stories, and it just it brought me back a lot of those memories, especially the one that I promised my grandmother that I was going to work hard to go back and see them.
Yes.
And so I decided to, rewrite them, a few stories. I had the time. It was during COVID.
Of course, COVID, yeah.
So did all of us, right?
Yeah, right. And you know what? I thought it was the most amazing year of my life. All my kids were here, my grandkids, everyone was in the house for an entire year, querida. It was heaven. It was heaven for me.
It was. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Me too.
The best. It was a time for me to reflect.
Yes. And get in touch with your family because, like you said, life happens and we forget about people and things and where the importance is, where we're supposed to be. And COVID really, unfortunately, and fortunately, it was a pandemic, but it also brought a lot of things to light. And I believe that book that was delivered to you was from your grandmother. Your grandmother found a way in her mind, prayers, whatever it was, to get those stories back to you. Because your grandmother was like, remember who you are. Remember who you were. Don't ever forget where you came from and the beautiful 10 years of your life that you spent there, right?
Yeah.
So it really resonates with readers everywhere, because the stories, if you love your family, you love the book, because it's and for me, I want to just get into a little bit about and thank you for that beautiful story about your grandmother. That really can give the listener a sense of how incredibly beautiful this book is written. So, what's your favorite memory or tradition from childhood that's featured in the book?
You know, all the stories that I've written and the ones that I haven't, written yet,
Right.
they're all my favorites.
Right. You can't pick one.
There's exactly there's
Yeah.
not one that I like more
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, there's a cute story of when I was washing clothes. My maternal grandmother was teaching me how to wash clothes back in the days.
Yes.
It was in the
Rocks.
in the
Yeah.
stone in the stone basin.
Yes. Oh yeah, querida.
You remember? I'm sure you
My
remember
mom
those,
told me
Nancy.
stories. Yeah, my mom and my grandmother. Yes.
So this story, like all of them, again, they are my favorite.
Right.
But this one comes to mind as when she was teaching me to wash clothes in the basin stone. I remember that I wasted a whole bar of the Offenbach soap.
Oh, the
Sabão azul.
Sabão Branco e Azul, querida.
Yes.
Oh, my mom's favorite. You used the whole bar?
I used a whole bar washing one shirt, and there was I had a little accident. You have to read the story in the book.
You can't. That's perfect.
I won't give everything away.
Yes, don't.
But the lesson that I've learned,
Yes.
one, it was the value, wasting
Yes.
a whole bar of soap that I could have used to wash at least, a whole load of laundry.
Yeah.
And then I could have gotten hurt because, again, there was a little accident that happened in there.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, Jay.
And then another story that is very heartfelt, as you know, we come from a spiritual,
yes,
background,
yes.
And it was the Christmas story, the ultimate and the last Christmas that I spent with my grandparents. We didn't have much. Back in the days, we were lucky and very fortunate just by having a plain Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's so true.
I remember my grandfather, o meu vovô João.
Yeah.
He got us a Christmas tree, and
he chopped it down.
Yes, and then on that Christmas morning, it smells. There was just an aroma throughout the house, which was different from other Christmases.
Yes,
and the door of the last room in the hallway was closed.
Yeah.
And my mom was making flores malasadas for Christmas morning. So I was helping Mom to set up the table. Yes. And I said, Mom, there's a different smell. There's something just different. So I went to check. She goes, why don't you go check o quarto de baixo? It was like the last room
in the back.
in the hallway, in the barn, or however you want to call it. Yeah. But so we went. So I went there. I slowly opened the door because usually that room it was pretty dark, and at times it could be, looked a little scary, creepy. Yeah, creepy. Scary.
Yeah.
I opened the door and I see my grandpa. He had carved this beautiful a village and a whole nativity set.
No way!
From sea foam.
Oh my gosh!
And he was there with his harmonica. When I opened the door, he started playing.
Oh, Idalina.
it was just so heartfelt. That was the gift. I mean, back in the days, we didn't get, gifts like crazy.
No. Like we do our kids. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and that was the
That is
best
so
Christmas.
beautiful, Idalina. I can only imagine what that must have felt like, seeing your grandfather contributing for Christmas and the whole family was in, they were doing their you were all together. That's the lesson, is that time, the best gift we can give someone is time, and those times we'll never get back, but the memories are so vivid, right? Like I feel like it just happened yesterday. When you read the book, they're so, you put the reader in that story. And listen, I am an emotional person. Everybody knows I cry for everything, but literally the stories that you're sharing and the way that you're telling these beautiful stories, I can close my eyes and I can visualize the flowers frying and the Christmas tree wafting through the room and crispness in the air because it was December, right? So just that, all of that, what a beautiful memory to keep in your heart. And have your kids been, or first of all, are grandma and grandpa still with us?
No, my grandparents are no longer with us.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. They're with you in heaven, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And Nancy, I stuck to that promise, and I work hard. I start working at the age of 13. I was cleaning houses with my mom, the Pacific Bell, the telephone company. I was cleaning houses. I saved every penny. That was my first job, and I was going to school, of course. And then at 15, I was more legal to work.
Yeah.
And I got a job at the restaurant, so I was working two jobs at the same time. And I saved every penny to go back that summer of 1987, and it was the best thing I did.
Oh.
The best investment to go see my grandparents. I got to see all four of them. I spent almost 3 months with them.
Wow.
In 1987.
What a gift from God. What a gift from God, because ultimately we know that He provides us with everything. And so that second job came at the perfect time, right? It's like when we look back and go, sometimes we ask God, like, why? And what is this? Why am I going through this? What have I done that's so horrible that this is my life? But as you grow in faith and as you grow as a person, you start to see that God was laying the groundwork a long time ago, long before you planned for that trip in 1987. God was laying down the work that you needed to get done in order to go there and keep your promise and be 3 months with all four grandparents. I don't think there's a lot of people that can honestly say that they saved every penny as a child to go back to visit their grandparents.
Oh, and I know, and it's hard. I was working, and my lunches every day. I mean, in school, it was that Philadelphia, I think that's the name, that yellow cheese.
Yeah.
On 2 pieces of Wonder bread, which I no longer eat that.
Yes.
But those weren't my lunches.
Yes.
There were many times when then I started working retailer later on.
Yeah.
There were many times I was craving like a milkshake, and I was like, nope, gotta put the money aside. Nope.
Right.
No,
Right.
no new clothes
See,
for me.
see, and you sacrificed all of that just to go back for those 3 months, and you did it. And I don't know. I feel like kudos to you for doing that, and now go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Your stories are so relevant today and resonate with, I think, anyone who had the love of their grandparents, which most of us Portuguese, our grandparents, they were everything for us. My grandfather was a very stern man, but we loved him. We had a respect for our grandparents and parents that I sometimes think got lost along the way. The values and the things that we did as kids, it didn't continue on with a lot of parents with their kids, and they kind of just left them to grow up without having that sense and those memories, and for you to be able to get it in book form now. So you were just like, COVID, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do my book, and I'm going to see if I can get a publisher. How did that work?
So what I did was I decided to post a couple. I cleaned it up after my daughter handed me the Manila folder.
Yeah.
I read them, and it was like going back in time. It took me back in time, and then I started writing them, and then I post. I think 3 or 4. Matter of fact, there was a couple that it had people's names on it, and of course, we have to be careful when we mention names. We don't want to hurt anyone or go against their will with names.
Right.
So I decided to post them on social media. I couldn't believe the feedback that I received.
Yes.
And anyway, that's how that started, and then
you were like, "There's a need. I have to fill a need here. There's people are hungry for these stories, right? People want to. Eles querem aqueles belos tempos que a gente não tinha nada de consumir, you know what I mean? My mom always says, belos tempos, mais simples. Esta vida é tão complicada agora. And the thing is with also I wanted to mention before we continue on, because we have still a half an hour, so we're going to still talk for 30. Listen, this is an easy conversation. We're bringing up the book, but also I want to know about you and what makes you you. And I think that's important for, like if I called you and said, Idalina, how are you doing? This would be the same type of conversation that we had, right? Because I would want to know, like, okay, now so you wrote it, and then how did you get the illustrate? Did you illustrate yourself? Did you have illustrators? How did that work?
So, yes, I had an illustrator. Actually, there were 2.
Okay.
Helia.
Helia?
Helia.
I love
Everyone knows Helia.
Yes.
She is the illustrator for the cover of the book.
Oh.
And she was actually one of the people that encouraged me to publish my stories.
I'm going to tell you something.
And this is something.
Yeah.
I mean, God works in mysterious ways. She was actually not going to be part of the book.
Yeah.
She just said, "You have beautiful stories. I know of a publisher that publishes children's books.
She's amazing,
and she would love to read some of your stories." Yeah. And that's how that connection started.
Oh my
gosh. So
she is so humble that I have known Helia. I met her the same day I met you. I bought a little piece that I have in my kitchen. Couldn't afford much. It's a tiny little picture, but I love it. And she has beautiful artwork. I wish I could buy everything, but she has never told me that she illustrated the cover of that book. And I've known her forever, but I guess her name's on there, and I never really looked. But wow.
Yes, yeah, she's the illustrator for the book cover, and for the book illustrations. It was a couple of gentlemen, Marco Rosales and Zoltan Pavon.
Okay.
And my daughter, she did the editing.
Shout out Marina Coral. Woo, girl. Yes, ma'am. Good girl.
And my daughter, she has a degree in animation 3D.
Oh my
gosh! So this is kind of
this is her wheelhouse.
So we had a family involved in this project. My son, he did the editing for the book.
You are kidding me.
Angela Silveda, she did the cover and the layout of the book. Denise Borges, he helped with the translations.
Oh my gosh! And it was Angela, a community.
It was a community. And then Angela Simons, she published the book.
Wow.
So huge thank you to her for making this dream come true.
It was, everyone worked together for it to happen. And it sounds like everything sort of was aligning, right? Like everything was kind of falling into place where it was like, when God has a plan for us, there might be obstacles, but at the end of the day, the product that you have was what God wanted it to be, which was a family affair, a community affair. It's bilingual. It's English and Portuguese, the book. And all of those people involved, I know a few of them, and they're such amazing, smart people. And I believe that people saw your vision, and I believe that divine intervention always happens in situations like this. Do you feel like your faith played a part in it at all?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
I'm sorry.
We got caught off a little.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry. How do you feel like your faith played a part in all of that? Like, did you feel like God was pushing you to write it, or did you feel like some calling inside of you deep within, or did you feel more like a divine connection with your grandmothers and feel like you wanted to write it that way? What in terms of the spiritual world, how were you feeling about the book, and if any, did it make any difference?
No, absolutely. I felt I'm a spiritual person. Yes. I grew up in a spiritual community.
Yes.
I brought back with me my spirituality from the Azores.
Yes.
And so absolutely, I felt that my grandparents were with me all the way. Yes. And my dad, yes. I lost my father right before Christmas, which Christmas means a lot to me.
Oh,
and
wow.
And it hasn't been the same. My father passed away December 22nd of 2019.
Oh,
so
Idalina.
It was not too long before it was.
Did he get to see the book?
No. Yeah. The book came out on November. The book was published November of 22.
Well, he sees it up there. For sure, he sees it up there. And your mom is still here?
Yes, my mom is here.
And she lives by you? Or where do you live, actually, in the Bay Area?
I live in the Bay Area.
Okay.
I live in a...
No, you don't have to say the city. Yeah. You don't have to say the city. I just was like, is she Bay Area, or is you in the Valley, or are you you more south area?
Actually, north.
North. Okay, good. And so your kids went to school here, and your kids, how do your kids, if any, did they feel that connection out? Like, have you taken them back to Flores, your children?
Oh, absolutely. I made a promise to them. I took them back when they were smaller.
Yeah.
But then I went through a health issue in 2018, and I made a promise to my kids that I was going to take them in 2020. Well, we know what happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And so we had to postpone the trip and until last year. So I took them to we went to Flores. We were there for about 3.5 weeks.
Beautiful.
We were in San Miguel
Ai,
for
querida,
4 days.
Viva
I
San
love San
Miguel!
Miguel.
Viva os Açores!
So I actually, when I had my first surgery, I was 4.5.
Oh.
So we lived in San Miguel for about 6 months.
Oh, my.
And I still remember, like, o Campo São Francisco.
Oh, Campo São Francisco. That's where my mom's church is. Yes, querida.
And then, of course, my kids, they really liked San Miguel.
Because it's hip and happening, right? There's a lot going on in San Miguel.
There's a lot going on in San Miguel. And, of course, I am a tea lover. As a matter of fact, I am having a cup right now as I'm talking to you.
Cheers. Cheers.
I am having, cheers. I am having chá verde with poejo.
Oh, querida, que bom.
It's a blend of green tea with Pinot Royal.
Oh, what
and
is that?
I brought this back from the Goriana factory.
Oh, wow.
And I just love that place.
Do you have any health issues now? Are you still battling anything, or what was?
No, we're good.
Okay, good. Amen. Praise God.
We're good right now.
Praise God. But those teas and those natural remedies, they really work. They do. Everything that I have never tried that brand or tea, but I know that my mom loves tea, and so I might have to get some of that for her to try. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So when I go to Europe,
yes,
I always bring back half of a suitcase with tea, coffee, and dark chocolate.
Hey, dark chocolate's good for you.
Right?
I like the dark chocolate with the shot of Maracuja inside. Liqueur.
Oh my gosh, liqueur, right?
I wish I had one right now. But that's amazing that you bring, and it lasts you until you go back. You just lasts you.
Exactly. And I give it away.
I give it away.
Yeah. I like to
no, just send me send me the name of it. I'd like to.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I am as I'm talking to you, I am having a cup of tea and I'm putting the little bag aside so I can send you a picture.
Thank you. You know what I'm having? Your favorite, a Diet Coke. I'm having a Diet Coke with extra ice. I am one of those Diet Coke lovers.
I'm not sure about the Coke.
I know. Diet Coke for me is like my coffee. I don't drink coffee, so that for me is like, if I'm feeling a little sluggish, a Diet Coke will do ya.
There you go.
I know. And so let's talk, when you go to these events, like there's going to be an event October 12th, right? On Saturday in Pismo Beach, California. For those of you that don't know where Pismo Beach is, it's, what would you say Pismo Beach is? It's kind of going towards LA, I guess. Yeah? Yes, going south. Yes. Yeah. It's, the Dia de Portugal there. So Portuguese Heritage Day. And Idalina will be there, right? October the 12th.
Correct, the 12th. Yeah,
and
I'll be there.
Will you be reading it all in little excerpts or no?
I'm going to have a booth.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I'm going to have a booth there. So I am going to be selling and talking to people about the book.
That's so good.
The reading, that was Via de Portugal, which that was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I just
I
loved
loved
it.
that too. I love when you did that little reading. But you know what? Just visually when you walk up, you are immediately first. I will tell you, I was immediately in love with the illustration, and then I fell in love with the title because I'm like, Island Girl, Menina de Ilha, and that was so. That's so us. That's us.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. My book, it resonates with all of the island girls, all of
Yes.
the girls, the women, the
Yeah.
grandmothers.
Yes.
And even the gentlemen, they're not island, well, they're island boys.
Yes.
But
yeah. But the men
there's
enjoy
a cute
it.
story in here of my grandfather because he was a whaler.
A whaler?
He was a whaler.
Oh my
That's in the
gosh!
book.
What does a whaler do?
Well, they hunt
The
whales.
whales. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in the days.
That's how they
it
made
was
money,
permits.
querida. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could do whale hunting.
yes.
It was sperm whales hunting.
Yeah.
Now it's prohibited. That's no
Okay.
longer. They can hunt whales in the Azores. But so there's a story of when he was a whaler and the accident that happened during one of his trips.
Oh, so we have to. Yes. What happened? Oh, don't tell us everything. Just a brief.
No. And so everyone knows the book is for all ages. It's for children. It's for men, women.
Families.
I've had teachers
Yes.
reaching out to me about the book. I don't know if you saw the interview with the high school student.
No, I haven't seen that.
In Flores, Azores. It's
No.
on my social media.
Oh my God, I will go. Oh my gosh, what now? Okay, so everything you were written. There was a beautiful article. What are your like accolades? You've received so many like reviews, good reviews, and write ups in in newspapers and magazines. Like I just think that people are so receiving this gift in this book. And there was a hunger and a need and a want to connect with old stories from the past. And so your grandfather was a whaler, and you have a beautiful, is it like so an accident happened to him on that trip?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
To the boat.
To the boat. Okay, to the boat.
And the men in the boat.
And the men in the boat. Oh my gosh. Yes. You are leaving some cliffhangers. I absolutely love this. Okay.
And by the way, I so recommend if you ever visit Flores, go visit the whale factory.
Yes.
It is worth it.
It is worth it.
It's worth it. And they have the harpoons that they use. They have the original boats that they used to go hunting the whales.
And that pretty much describes where your grandfather was. Are the boats big or small? Or
no, they're small boats.
Small boats. That's dangerous. Yeah. My goodness.
So he did that for a living for many years.
God bless him. I am so afraid of the ocean at night. Like during the day, I'm good. At night, when it's all black, I'm like, don't trust that so much. I love the water. For me, I went back when I was 15, and I haven't been back since. I was supposed to go for during COVID and all of that. Had plans to, and we all know what happened. So we haven't just got it together because, my husband does have a normal job and he can't just be taking a month, 6 weeks off. He could, but it's like I want to go for 6, 8 weeks, something like that, 10 weeks. And I want to take my daughter and my grandkids and I want them to experience the islands because for me, as soon as when I was in San Miguel, I know that as soon as my feet hit the sand, I felt right at home. And I believe that that's true with every island girl, that the minute your feet or you see a glimpse of the water or you watch a beautiful sunset over the water and or the sunrise over the water, I believe things like that actually change us as people. Having our eyes see the purity of the island and the beautifulness that, because sometimes when people say there is no God, and I look around at these beautiful, like the islands, beautiful places, and I think, how could people not believe in him? Look around what we have created in this world, like the hortensias in San Miguel. I don't know if Flourish has them too, but the colors, the shades, you don't see that. It's, man can't make that. Man cannot make that. No. And so it's good for the soul, and books like this that you have put out for the community, I believe that it's food for the soul. I believe that when it resonates and when you see yourself in the story, and when you can or read the story to your kids or your grandkids and show them the pictures and talk to them about the short stories that you have really curated for us, because you put the ones in the book that touched you the most, and that you thought people would. And here's the thing, when we start something like this, I always say, I don't care if just one person buys it. I'm happy with one person. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not I'm not your friend because I want you to purchase something. I'm your friend because I want to support you, right? And support what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that makes me think, I am so thankful. I am so thankful for all the people that have reached out, and they are still doing, contacting me.
Amen.
Asking questions about the book and where to find the book.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to those people again and again.
Yes.
I want to thank them for their support, for the notes, for the letters, the cards.
Right.
I want you, if you are listening to this, I want you to know that I have them all inside of this box. And I treasure them, every single one of them, very much. And this goes back to what you were saying, Nancy. Even if it's just one person, I still remember the first person that purchased the book, when I was pre-sailing the book, Dia de Portugal. His name is it's a gentleman. His name is Michael McDonald. I don't know if he's listening to this. I shout out to him.
Hi, Michael. Shout out to Michael.
This gentleman, he's Irish.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, and he looked at the posters, and he looked at the flyers when I was selling the book. And he said, I once had an island girl. And that gentleman, every event that I attend, he's there. He's there to support me.
Oh, God bless Michael, Mr. McDonald.
Again, I am thankful and blessed
to everybody.
For everyone.
Yeah.
But it is so it's so heartfelt and touching.
That's beautiful.
When I had this last reading, it was Dia de Portugal in June.
Yeah.
He was there gathering the children for the children's reading.
Oh, bless
and
his
it's just
heart.
It warms my heart.
Yeah, like it's just
very,
one
very special.
person. That's your one person. That's what yeah, exactly. It's like,
But every single one of them, I
yeah.
mean, again, thank you so much. And I
Let's-
even had
yeah.
many ladies reach out to me. It's like, where do you get your, your clothes?
Yes.
Is it from the islands? Your
Yes.
dresses?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
I'm a simple person.
Yes.
I'm outdoors.
Yes.
I came from a humble,
Beginning.
hardworking family of farmers, fishermen, and sargasso divers.
Yeah.
And I use those values, on my daily life.
Yes.
And but it's heartwarming when people ask me,
so
where do you get this?
It's so sweet, right? Like, and people, because you've made an imprint on their heart, right? So that is what reading can do, because we forget, with everything on social media, that picking up a book is so wonderful, and not your Kindle and not online, but actually turning the pages of a book. I feel like just the value in that, if you can offer to your families, reading a book and spending time talking about the story, or, gathering for story time. And we're going to read from Island Girl today. And, I think it's happening. I think it's happening, Idalina. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. For you and for Island Girl, because the more we promote your book, the more people can receive the gift that you have given to all of us. You have given and shared intimate memories that not everyone wants to put out there for anyone to read, right? It's hard to say I'm giving up these stories, but I'm giving it up for the better of the world, for the betterment of families, for the betterment of my grandparents, so that I never forget where I came from, right? And you have certainly touched the hearts of so many people in the community. You continue to touch the hearts of so many people in the community, because when I met you, you have this glow about you. You have this glow about you. You have this kindness about you. I feel like you would give the person the shirt off your back if they needed it, that type of person. And I sense that with you in this interview I've been wanting to do for a long time. And so I'm glad that I'm here on my platform, and I am able to tell the world, because this is listened all over the world. I have some people in South Africa and Bermuda and Australia and Canada and, Portugal. So to those people that maybe are thinking about purchasing your book, where can we find Island Girl?
So Island Girl is available on Amazon, Barnesnnoble, Amazon in Spain. If you live in Europe,
okay,
you can find it in Walmart.
What?
And if you live in the United States and you would like a signed copy, I am more happy to send you ship you a copy of Island Girl book.
Idalina, that is so sweet. A signed autographed book from you. That is, if U.S. residents, like, if you guys aren't jumping to that, I know I'm gonna put my order in, because I want one here at my house, and I want to sit down and read from the beginning to end. I think we chose 2 or 3 stories in the beginning, and then, to be honest, the kids moved, and I don't know kind of what happened, if they took it, or I don't see it in my house. So I had it actually displayed. I have a beach table and in my house, and I had it displayed on my beach table in my house. So I don't know what happened. I know that my best friend said that she want, and I know a lot of people that want to get a copy of this book. So let me repeat that. Amazon in the US, Barnes and Noble, which is amazing. Amazon Spain, if you guys live in Europe, and
Yes.
every
Walmart.
Walmart. That how did you get into Walmart? That's amazing.
Yeah, that was the publisher. That was
Yes.
distributed to, I believe, 35 different sites.
Shout out to the publisher. Shout out to the publisher. This is where it's easily accessible, and I want to make sure I mention that on Instagram, your ilha.mulher.azores, ilha.mulher.azores, Azores, and on Instagram. And October the 12th, I believe it's in the St. Anthony Hall grounds where they're going to set up.
I'll be there.
And there'll be,
and also, Nancy, I can be reached on Facebook.
Idalina,
Idalina,
yes, go ahead.
Sousa, Mendoza.
On Facebook, and I will have all that linked in this post. I'll link, I'll tag you and your Facebook, and then we can share it out to everyone. I want to put it on my mom's page. We're close to 20,000 people there, so that would be amazing to get some people on board to get Island Girl. If you guys are listening, and we highly recommend. 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. And one of my most favorite interviews that I've done here on Faith Ignited, I pick and choose guest speakers because I want each person to bring a little joy into the episode. And you're vibrant, and you're beautiful inside and out, and you are a young soul. You are I feel like, just in speaking with you, empathically, I sense your goodness and what you stand for, and it's an honor to actually have you here tonight. And I want to thank you for saying yes and being here with me. And I know interviews can be stressful, and I didn't want that for us. I wanted it to be organic, and I believe that it's what we kind of did. And it was it's a beautiful interview, and it'll be available on Spotify, Apple Music, Samsung Play, Google Play, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You'll be able to listen to Faith Ignited and this episode with our guest, children's author and woman extraordinaire, Idalina Sousa Mendoza. And for her in person, you guys, please go to Pismo. It's going to be a beautiful day, right? It's going to be sunny and hopefully nice weather. You'll be at your booth, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for. Is there anything else you want to plug, or anyone else you want to talk about, or what's upcoming for you besides the festival? Is there anything upcoming? Is there a number 2 book? What is going on? What if you did Rapaz da Ilha?
The Ilha?
Rapaz da Ilha, boy of the island boy.
Oh, boy of the island. That's a possibility.
Ah, o Rapaz da Ilha.
No, I just
O menino.
oh, Menino da Ilha, right?
Yes.
They just a couple things.
Yeah.
I just what I have to say really in this with that you don't forget your roots and that
Yes.
you treasure them,
Yes.
treasure your memories.
Yes.
Everyone has a story to tell,
Yes.
And be humble. Be
Amen.
humble.
Amen.
Forgive others.
Amen.
Lend a helping hand when needed.
Amen. Amen.
Treat others with respect,
Yes.
compassion,
Yes.
empathy.
Yes.
Be a listener.
Yes.
Yes. And acknowledge their values.
Yes. Absolutely.
I always say this phrase: "Give to others by giving is receiving."
Amen. Amen.
And but I want to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in.
Yes.
Nancy, thank you so much for having me, for taking your time for this interview.
Gosh, it's my honor.
I wish you and your mom much success with your projects.
Yes.
I want you to know that I am down to my last drip.
And you had the original one for the
I had the original
with
yes,
the ugly sticker on it that was not supposed to be there, but that's okay. We're gonna fix
Yes.
all of that, and
We're gonna fix all of that.
we're gonna fix.
I'm due for a new one.
That's okay, and I'm due for my yearbook as well. So we will get each other's addresses, and I definitely want to tell you that those last words. That's absolutely right. Everything that you said, and I couldn't have said it better. We have to remember to treat people with compassion, empathy, kindness. It goes a long way. And, I like to say this phrase since we're talking about phrases. I always say, bless them, change me. Change me, Lord. Bless them and change me. If I'm having an issue or someone's not being in a great mood, bless them, change me, Lord. Because I should change to better serve that person and their needs, right? So I want to thank you again, and I want to send you a huge hug and beijinhos to you, and say hello to Carlos and Marina Coral. I love her and your husband, and God bless you and your family, your mom. Thank you for what you do for the Portuguese community. Thank you for what you do for the Azorean community. Thank you for what you do as a mom raising beautiful human beings in this world, because Lord knows we need good humans like you in this world. And I want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you. No, you're going to make me cry.
Thank you for being here, my sweet friend. And I enjoyed having you here. And we'll chat soon, okay? God bless.
Likewise.
Thank you for
abraço
muito grande, querida. Beijinho, querida. Adeus, adeus.
Adeus.
Thank you guys, everyone, for listening to Faith Ignited. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. That was such a beautiful story. I adore her, and I believe that if you guys haven't gotten this book, please think about purchasing it. So many places: Amazon, Barnesnnoble, Amazon Spain, Walmart, and her personal Facebook, which is at Idalina Sousa Mendoza. Um abraço, beijinho. God bless. Good night.